Commissioners' meeting of July 29, 2025 at 7 p.m. to order. Zoom chat will not be monitored. If you wish to speak, you must raise your hand icon until the chair asks them to unmute. This meeting is being televised, streamed, or recorded by Bourne TV. Is there anyone else in the audience recording? Owen? Yep. Thank you. If anyone from the public wishes to access the meeting, they can do so by calling in the following conference line, 1-929-205-6099. The Zoom meeting ID, 817-6356-5834. The password is SEWER, S-E-W-E-R, all capital letters. Okay. Moment of silence to recognize our troops and our public safety personnel. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who would like to tackle the vision and mission?
I can read the vision.
Thank you.
Bourne is a proud community that embraces change while respecting the rich heritage of the town and its villages. It is a municipality based on strong fiscal government with a durable economy that recognizes the rights of all citizens, respects the environment, especially the coastal areas of the community, and the amenities that it affords. Bourne embraces excellent education and offers to citizens a healthy, active lifestyle.
Thank you. Mission?
I'll read it. Bourne will maximize opportunities for social and economic development while retaining an attractive, sustainable, and secure coastline and environment for the enjoyment of residents and visitors. Through responsible and professional leadership and in partnership with others, Bourne will strive to improve the quality of life for all residents living and working in a larger community.
Thank you. Anyone for public comments? Seeing none, moving on. Sewer allocation, preliminary allocation project updates. So in your packet, there were several responses received for preliminary allocation updates. Matt, do you have any comments should we go through each?
That's up to you. I mean, I can summarize the ones we received and the ones we didn't, or if you want to go through them individually, that's however you prefer to do it.
Why don't we summarize? We can start with Home 2 Suites.
So they supplied one. Just trying to think which address that is.
– 21 St. Margaret's.
They've been working closely with the internal regulatory group and the DPW and the sewer department, and they supplied the written documentation. I think the hotel is going to happen sooner than some other projects. They're really looking to move quickly on that.
Right. I know they're going through planning board. The planning board.
Yeah.
The condominiums on top of the gas station, there's more of a delay to those. I think they have more permitting they have to do for those, so those may not come as fast as the hotel comes. And there is some allocation in that parcel directed towards those condominiums.
Okay.
The next one was for 328 Main Street and 340 Main Street. 328 has a building permit right now, and they're starting construction. That's the smaller condominium unit where the old bait shop was. And they haven't pulled building permits yet for the condominiums up top, but those are coming. And they're part of the meeting today is also an updated allocation for 340 Main Street, which is the commercial building where they added a barber shop that exceeded the allowed allocations. The Scenic Park, I've had a lot of conversation with them, and they're still moving forward. They're waiting on some grant money and some other construction documents to finalize that, but that should be moving forward soon.
Correct. Yeah, because they haven't put an RFP out yet. They're still waiting.
Yes. 140 Main Street, they should be starting pretty soon also. I don't think they've pulled a building permit yet, but they are moving forward. We did get an update from Maritime Holdings also for 12 Wagner Way. There's been really no work on that project in over 2 years, but they have kept up with their, anytime we ask them for updates, they have kept up with their updates.
That's since 2024, right?
Yes.
Last year, yeah.
August of 2024?
Yes.
Or,
We didn't ask, this is the first time we reached out for anyone for updates since August 2024.
okay. So we don't know whether they did actually go through architectural plans for design review in quarter four, right?
No, we don't know that.
Okay.
I think they meant 2025. I think we're.
So I was curious,
It says
because
quarter
we're
four,
in quarter
2024.
one of
I think-
2026, and I thought, was
I
that a
think that's a
typo?
typo. That's what I thought.
I wasn't sure, because that's why. I
Upcoming in quarter four is like, you mean 2025? Yeah.
Right.
It's-
I thought the same thing. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess, that it was actually Q4 2025 that they were referencing, so.
Bay Motor Inn is on the spreadsheet. They didn't supply an update, but they were just in last month.
They were just in, yeah.
So, and there was another project that I had noted that was just in recently. Oh, and 227 Rear Main Street didn't supply a update, but they're almost up to occupancy permit, so they're almost done with them. They don't have an occupancy permit yet, and
They're in progress, right? Their
Yeah,
construction's
they're
in
moving
progress,
forward.
but they're almost.
built.
Okay.
And 2 Kendall Ray Place, we know where they're under construction also, so, and they've paid all their fees. There was one we had no updates from, the 100 block.
I can provide a brief update on that.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get this to you guys earlier, but for the 100 block, my name is Robert DeWar here with Bracken Engineering on behalf of Vincent and Doreen McKenzie. So 100 block right now, I mean, it's kind of an ongoing phase development there. Within that block is the 85 to 93 Main Street, which we actually have a new kind of allocation modification submitted for the next hearing. But right now, they have 13,000 gallons per day as their allocation. In our update in August of last year, we had, they were using just over 3,800 gallons per day, and that was based off of the existing uses, the Luzia's Pizza, Cruitai, the gym, and the physical therapy office there. And that also took into account a coffee shop that was under preliminary development at the time, but is now being permitted under construction, Uncle John's Coffee Shop. So since then, they added 2 seats to the coffee shop. I think when they were there last year, they thought it was 22 seats. It's now 24 seats, so it did bump us up another 70 gallons per day. So we're at 3885 right now. So with that, that was the 13,000 for 8593. The rest of the 100 block, I believe they've got about 27,000 roughly preliminarily allocated to them, and that goes back. So they're still working through development options there at the moment, basically.
Would you, for the chair,
Yes.
can you just email us about date for the 85 to 93 so we have it?
Yes,
Because
absolutely. I
reading
can
that
send
now,
that to you
My eyes
guys.
are squinting trying to read it.
Yeah, I'll send the spreadsheet over to you guys. Send it
Thank
to
you.
Simone.
Well, send it to Maria and they can send it to us.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
So they did submit an updated allocation for next month. It came in yesterday,
Yeah.
so that would be on the agenda. I believe that spreadsheet's
And that's for the
included.
coffee shop,
Yeah,
right?
so,
Yes.
correct. And the most recent update, the spreadsheet is included with that
Okay.
as well.
And that'll be we have that in hand for next meeting.
Okay.
And but that's still within the 13,000. They're not still.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
They're,
yeah,
they're well under the
They're already good.
13,000 they have allocated for that
Okay.
at the moment, so.
Yeah,
No, it's just nice to have the information so we can read it. I mean, I trust what they do and then just want to be able to read it.
We'll get that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I would appreciate a,
Yeah, I can supplement that.
that would be
send it
great.
over to Maria. Excellent.
Any other questions from the board for the 100 block?
No, I just have a kind of a general comment about this. Because I feel, we ask for these written things. I don't think we need to do it every 6 months. I think once a year is probably fine. And especially like when it becomes people having to ask their
I was had it.
contractor to write a letter that means that they have to pay for that. So I would ask that the staff think about some sort of internal checklist where the planning board, periodically reports on these projects, so we know there's activity. Because I think for a lot of these projects, the developers going in, they're sitting down, they're meeting with the planning board saying, well, this, or they're meeting with, the planning department. So there's a lot of activity going. It's just not evidenced in construction. And I was thinking about the fact that we extended the site review permit that you get from 2 years to 3 years because it takes so long for things to happen. So I think we got good response, and I'm really happy with the response. I just am trying to think if there's some way we can streamline it so it's not, but I think it was good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? And was there another one that we didn't get?
I just had it as Kendall Ray,
Right.
but they were in construction. Which one was it? Lad Homes.
Lad Homes, Holt Road.
We didn't get one. I've been in contact with them frequently about construction and what they're gonna do there. They're moving forward with the project. There's just been some slight delays.
Okay.
I can get him to put something in writing if you need it.
I just think it's always a good thing if we have something in writing.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
I think
agree.
we're before us, correct? At some point.
They were here just a couple of months ago, because they changed, right?
I think it was almost a year ago.
Yeah, I think it's been a while.
Wow.
It says 8/24/24, so, yeah.
They've made good progress. No, I wasn't here because I was on the
That's
planning
wild.
board.
It seems like it was recent, more recent.
I think I reviewed them when I was on the
Flies
planning
when you're
board.
having fun.
Yes,
I know it
huh?
wasn't a big jump, but.
So they're
Mackerel, MJ,
built
that was a
now.
while ago. I
It
didn't
does
realize.
look like it's kind of, I mean, it could be the season that it's slowed, so it's not.
Doing something.
Yeah. That's, something in writing would be good,
Okay.
for sure, I think,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I remember with the planning board, we reviewed them,
August. Who knew?
a couple on Main Street.
Okay, I don't think there were any other ones then, right? That were outstanding, that we hadn't received information on?
I don't see any.
All right. Okay, so let's take a look at agenda item number 6, policy, rules and regulations, allocation policy. So, Matt, do you have any recommendations based on what we're seeing?
It was a tricky task the past month because based on our Title V flows and what we've allocated, there's only about 56 gallons left.
Right.
I'm sorry, 26 gallons left.
26 gallons left.
For any new construction.
Right.
And we also know that as we do the 3-year preliminary operational allocation reviews, we know that there's gallons coming back to us that we're not using. So when I went through the rules and regs trying to find ways to work within the rules and regs as opposed to changing them or updating the policies, there was a couple things. The first thing I saw was when we managed the actual flows, Right now, we kind of keep those numbers until the operational allocation is up till 3 years.
Right.
There are DP guidelines that would allow us to use a year's worth of data as long as it's been occupied for a year. So we did have 4 parcels that have operational allocations that have been operational for a year, and have been full capacity for a year. So if we kind of used what their flow numbers are now, and I added a peak factor of 2.3, that is, MJ pointed this out to me in an email, that is the higher peak flow that we used for the 3-year allocations. But my fear is, I don't want to undersell what their allocations are if the board decides to go with kind of this math in this sense. So I wouldn't want to make them lower than they could possibly be. But I also am comfortable working within the math for these parcels to free up, this would free up about 6,000 gallons a day, which for what's being requested at the current time, that would cover those allocations. And then as other parcels came on board after a year of operation, we could review this and see where it's at. So that was the first, it's kind of funny math. Not funny math, but it's,
But do we have the flex, oh, sorry, were you going to ask a question, MJ?
I might wait.
Okay.
You gave us so much information. I just did a lot of thinking about it, and I went back and reviewed things, and I think I'm a little bit concerned about finagling too much, like taking this one in a year and maybe fix this and use this factor, and it becomes so complicated. I thought of a totally more global thing, and it's really kind of basic, and I'm like, how much tracking are we going to have to do, like, to kind of think about things? We have on our spreadsheet this green area that's like the actual flow of people that are actually in operation, and we can look at the operational allocation awaiting actual use is 41,665, right?
yes.
The actual use of those parcels is 10,434. And I'm like, why don't we do something with this differential?
Right.
And say,
I agree.
why don't we take 50% of that difference? Like say, all right, so they're allocated 41,665. They're using 10,434. That's a differential of 31,231. If we take half of that, it's 15,000, I don't know, 15,615.
615.5.
Yeah, and then as that changes, so if the 8490 block, well, their use goes up because they put in a coffee shop, that number's gonna automatically shift. And as people meet their 3-year, get really allocated after 3 years, they'll shift to something different. So it's kind of a moving number that says, it's kind of a fudge factor. But we know we have a fudge factor.
Well, without a doubt, we have a fudge factor, but I understand what you're saying too, Matt, and you're concerned with, right, like taking the 1-year data, using that factor of 2.3, was it?
Yeah.
As opposed to the 1.7, and trying to, free up our calculations, so to speak. Because, yeah, we're playing with the numbers, right? But we want to be a little conservative. So,
This is my suggestion, because I think that we have to kind of work through this, and I'm not comfortable working through it tonight. Like, I think we should refer to the policy subcommittee to sit down and, with you, and kind of come up with something as a proposal for a policy, but say we know we have at least, whatever it is, 1,818 gallons or something that got requests from us. Approve those pending the change that we're gonna make a change in policy and it'll all work out. That I'm much more comfortable than trying to understand between 2.3 and 1.7 and, peak factor and this thing. And I went back and actually watched our meeting from March 26th of 2024, where we made the Hampton Inn allocation, and we looked at peak flow, 2.7, 1.6, 2.3, 1.7. Well, then, but what about the peak flow, which was something different that we haven't even looked at for this? And I'm like, we've got to kind of simplify this to a level where we feel comfortable that we're not over allocating, but somewhat making decisions based on reality. And that's kind of where I am, so I welcome any thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think I agree. I don't think this is something we can solve tonight.
No.
But I think I would want to look at other towns as well. Maybe look at some other examples of how do they handle the allocations that are being unused. Is there a penalty, a fee, a fine? I don't know. I mean, is there some way to make it fair so that we're not holding allocations for years and years and years? And there's got to be a way to finagle the ones we have, the extras that we're going to get back. And I mean, there must be something, but I agree, we can't do it today. So I need to review it. It's a lot of information too for me. So that's about what I can add. Yeah.
Nah, I just think that refer to the policy sub, and then I think that's the right way to go about it.
Jean?
Sounds good. I mean, I'd like to hear what Matt thinks about what MJ suggested.
My concern isn't now, my concern's in 3 years.
Okay.
If we do funny math, which that's what I'm, I mean, there's wiggle room for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my fear is, we look at 300,000 gallons, which is a real number, but once we hit 180,000 going to Wareham and 80,000 at the plant, we have to stop and look at our numbers and explain to Wareham how we're not gonna go over, and explain to DEP how we're not gonna go over for our permit. And my fear is if we get to that point, and then we have allocations out there that people have paid for that go beyond those numbers, how do we explain that to DEP or Wareham? Right now, we're only pumping 150, our max day, July 4th, is 156,000 gallons a day.
A day.
I mean, so we're not there yet, but, some of these projects are really coming to fruition, these hotels, and we might start seeing these spikes, and then, these parcels, that's my concern. It's not now, it's not in a year, but in 3 years, we could get ourselves in hot water, and that's just what I really want to avoid.
So, right, so I think, like, bumping it down to the policy subcommittee, we can figure out these scenarios and come to a conservative enough, safe enough policy that, at the same time, get some of these allocations back. The other factor is too, like, it does state that we do have the capacity to take back allocations that have not been, or at least submit a letter saying, you're not in compliance, there's been zero activity, take back 50% of them, or you know what I mean? And grab something back, unless they can really provide proof that, oh, no, I'm putting the bulldozer in the ground tomorrow. I mean, I have my permit in hand.
I just think it's too much.
But I think the other part of that is, having allocation is marketed these businesses, right? It's a plus for marketing a business, or marketing a space, not a
Yes.
business.
That's
for
why.
business.
That's why I'm so protective of taking Vinny's allocation away, 'cause that's the most valuable parcel we have in Buzzards Bay. And if we take that away, granted, he may not be that. It seems like he's not doing anything, but it's just the time. It's just the way the economy is. And so,
Right.
but we just got to get him. Just work with him, because he pays all that. His tax revenue that he brings to the town on those parcels, and and never mind the sewer revenue. I mean, it's just, I don't know. My philosophy is work with people instead of working against people, and so it's just. I think this information we're reading here is just too much in one night. So I think it's best that we send it to the policy sub, and they can digest it, and then make it, and simple it down a little bit, I guess is what I don't want to sound stupid, but I'm gonna say, but just make it more understand and easy to understand, so it's easier for the average person to realize what's going on when he read it back before us. Because it's just, some things get too much into the weeds and people get confused, so if we're gonna put policies together, make them that they're simple to understand.
Yeah. I appreciate what you're saying, but at the same time, we have to make it a win-win from Bourne and not protect Vinnie. I mean, it's, I appreciate that, but it's, since I was on the planning board and you were on the planning board, you
Yeah.
know, it's use it or lose it. We have to allow for progress in town, and it is tough. I understand, yeah, the allocation and marketing of property with the flood and all the, the constraints.
Right.
It's definitely a hardship, but at the same time, we have to look out for Bourne, so.
I mean, I agree. I think, of course, I appreciate all the work Vinnie has done on Main Street. He's done a lot of work to beautify the town and to do a lot of things, but to say it's the most valuable property in town, I mean, we have a lot of, business owners in town, and I think all of our projects are important to the town, regardless of whose they are. So I think we need to be cognizant of that. This isn't about who's more important or who's, who we need to cater to most. This is about the town as an entirety. We can't just make decisions and go, we want to do a favor because we respect, of course we respect the
Yeah,
work he's
and
done
there's some
in town,
properties in
but
the last 10 years that look.
progress is
great.
progress, and we're at a pinch, we have stuff we need to allocate if we run out, so
Yes.
it's not about
This
favoritism.
isn't about special interests. I'm not saying it's just one person, and it's not the whole town, it's the Village of Buzzards Bay. There's a huge difference. And everybody's parcels are important to this community, because they provide revenue, as well. But I'm just saying, for someone that has worked, with us, I just rather work with people instead of just putting the threat of, well, we're taking this away. I mean, ultimately, if that's what happens, that's what happens. But I just like to see people be proactive to business owners in general around town, because they're the ones that make this community, so just as a whole.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But we need to take a dive into all of it, because we're at a really huge crossroads with respects to allocations, and 26 isn't going to get the next business in the door.
Oh, I know that, and I know we're at a crossroads right now.
You know?
Yeah.
And
You won't
it-
be flushing.
And 20, yeah, and word gets out that we only have 26, no one's coming to town to start a business. If they know they're not getting allocations, so, especially on Main Street. Yes. And-
So I started thinking about taking allocations from people, that hadn't made progress. And then I kind of changed my whole decision on that to be more, because we have 138,403 gallons of preliminary allocation that's still in the planning or pre-planning or whatever
Or,
stage.
right, construction.
I think we just
or-
leave that number there and say, we're gonna leave that as like 100% allocated there. What I thought about using as our sort of fudge factor is the things that are built, they're sort of in that 3-year window of figuring out. We've got some data and not taking the full differentiation, but I've just pulled 50% out of it. We could make it a different factor, but when I looked at, what's the, I'm not going into my crazy math thinking, but to that, somehow making some sort of a formula with the difference between what we know is operationally active and what that differentiate, that's kind of where my thinking is. To keep us out of danger of things that we've already allocated that we don't want to mess with, and things that we know what we might have, without getting too much, because, I start asking questions like, well, how much of that meter is Starbucks, and how much is Jersey Mike's, and how much is this, and it's a split meter, and then you're like doing all kinds of fantasy math that, we don't really know, so. Yeah, I mean, and I'm like,
you want the
yeah, well,
numbers to
Jersey
work.
Mike's is like 2/3 of it, and that, I get
Yeah.
down the weeds. So that discussion, we should have a policy subcommittee where
Absolutely.
I can
Yeah.
throw out all my little nitpicking things that no one else wants to talk, and not put Matt on the spot for me, so. I think you did a great job coming up with I like the thinking, and it got me down a road. Having a draft that you can think about and say, oh, well, what you like about it, what you don't like about it is really, it helps the job get done. So I really, really appreciate it, so.
So if it's the consensus of the board to send this allocation policy to this policy subcommittee for action?
So moved.
Second.
Can I just
Sorry,
add-
Matt.
So the memo I did today, that's based on the policies we have.
Yes.
There was no, that was just looking at the policy we have, trying to make it fit into this, I just wanted to
Sure.
make sure that was clear.
Sure.
Well, I'll wait till we get the comment. I'll wait till you get the motion. so.
Okay, so motion by Peter, second by MJ?
Yeah.
Is that, okay.
And then just for my comment, I just wanted to
Okay.
add, I wanted to say thank you for the memorandum, because that was very helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my comment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Nay? Abstention, seeing none. Motion passes. Just making my notes here. Okay, agenda item number 7, preliminary sewer allocation request for 10 Harrison Ave. Okay.
Is it more than 26 gallons?
More than 26
Yeah.
gallons, unfortunately.
Sadly,
It is. 1320,
1,300 more.
1320 more.
Hello again, Robert DeWar here with Bracken Engineering, on behalf of the owners of, I believe it actually has not been officially addressed yet, but what will be known as 10 Harrison Ave, Jim and Patricia Casey. I'm here to request a preliminary allocation of 1,320 gallons per day. This is for a proposed townhouse development. It's going to be 4 units at 3 bedrooms in each unit. And this is on Harrison Ave. It's basically right behind the old police station. It's the police station. And then there's a small single-family home, which was once part of this parcel here, 8 Harrison Ave. That was subdivided out to create this vacant parcel here at 10, which they're hoping to redevelop into this townhouse development. So that's about the gist of it, just if you're interested. We do have kind of an elevation view and some rough, this is the first floor plan, and the 3 bedrooms are each on the second floors of the units. I can certainly flip the page if people are interested in seeing that. We are scheduled to be in front of the DRC in the coming weeks, as well as planning board applications have been submitted for both. So with that, I guess I'd open up to any questions and comments.
Melissa?
I think it's great that it's 3-bedroom units, those are so hard to come by. I have 2, both of my children have 3 children or more.
Yeah.
And it's hard to come by 3-bedroom units, so that's just great in itself, that it's not smaller units. I think that's great, yeah. That's my comment, yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
It's a huge improvement to the parcel,
Yeah.
compared to what's there.
Oh, yeah.
And any housing, period, is better than no housing at all, if it's affordable, workforce, or upscale. I mean, at least people have options, but I don't know if they're gonna market these, or are these being built for family and, family use or whatever, we don't know.
Yeah, I believe they're all going for market rate
Okay,
housing.
okay.
Yep,
I was just
but it does
curious.
provide some additional housing that's right downtown, walking distance to the businesses and restaurants that are right there.
I thought there was some sort of affordable factor. Isn't there an affordable factor in,
10 or more units,
in the
10 or more
Yeah.
acres.
is it only in
Not
10
for
or more?
that, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But, kudos to the architect and to the property owners for bringing this forward.
Yeah.
I don't think affordable is anywhere anymore.
So I'm willing to
so-
make a motion to grant the preliminary allocation of 1,320 gallons per day based on the fact that we are planning to revise our allocation policy to allow for this gallonage.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So, all right, so so we're going to grant the preliminary allocation of 1,320 gallons per day for 10 Harrison Ave. Should we say pending final policy?
No, I
or-
don't want it pending the final policy. I said it's based on I think it's based on the plans
Amendments to the policy.
amendment to the policy, forthcoming amendment, the planned amendment of the policy.
Peter, did you second that?
No, Melissa did.
Melissa?
Melissa,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Any additional comments? Concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Look,
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
fiscal year 26 grinder pump project.
Did we have another
there another-
updated
Oh, no.
preliminary
We got
allocation?
number
Oh, I'm sorry, number 8, updated preliminary store allocation request for 340 Main.
I can speak to it. So this is, 340 Main is a parcel that's already under construction and complete. When they put the grill and more in at the end of the building, they took some of the preliminary allocation and added some additional seating. And then they proceeded to put a barber shop in. The way the permitting process works, the barber shop didn't really come before the sewer department to look at it for allocation. So we went to them after the fact. They're only looking for an additional 520 gallons per day for the barber shop. To keep it formal, we asked them to put in this request officially. Currently, just so you are, they're only using about 1,287 gallons a day of their allocation. And their allocation is, with this additional 520 gallons, their allocation would be 3,615 gallons a day. So I wouldn't have concerns about adding this one, as I.
Because they're not
with
reaching that
anything,
capacity of
yes.
preliminary allocation in the first place, so it's,
This is one of the
Right,
things that got
this
me
is-
thinking
this is
about the
what does.
differential. I was like, you know what are we going to tell them they can't have it even though they haven't, they're not using it? No.
Right.
So I would
Exactly.
make a motion to approve the additional 540 gallons per day for 340 Main Street.
I'll
520.
second.
520.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jean?
Yeah, second.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Unanimous, 500.
But they do have to pay an additional fee, right?
Yeah,
They know.
It's good.
felt a little bit.
It's not that much, but it's good.
Okay, so now let's take a look at the grinder pump project.
Yes, update on that. Right. Yes.
And the discussion about the responsibility once the grinder pumps are installed.
Yeah.
And Matt, you want to highlight what you sent in our packet?
Sure. So what our thought was, this would be, as we move through the grinder pump project, which is a quick update, I think it'll go out to bid more late August than mid-August. We got a little bogged down with some other projects, so it was just a little extra time to get it out to bid. With that being said, most of this document is something that we're thinking of giving this to the residents as we go through their homes, and as their grinder pumps update and their electrical pumps updated, we would meet with them and give this to them, so they had more information. Right now, people don't even sometimes know who to call to have the grinder pumps fixed. But the big thing is the responsibility of the new system. Every town does it a little different. I did a lot of kind of looking at other towns. It's really all different.
Yep.
But something that, no matter what happens, we're gonna get called to the house. So we're already gonna have staff there. It seems like if these pumps are breaking for no fault of the homeowner, to have the town be responsible for them is probably the best course of action. Does it cost us the ratepayers money? But to have them have to call a company to come switch the grinder pumps, they're paying $300-400 an hour plus the cost of the pump for something that they might come out and diagnose and say it was a faulty, but the people might have to take that cost on their own. I mean, we've already gone out there to assess it and tell them what's wrong with it, and it doesn't make sense to take that responsibility off of the sewer department. But I think we as a department need to do better managing the people that are abusing the pumps or breaking them. And I think what I tried to write in here was there's no strikes. If we go out there and the pump's full of rags or full of grease, it's going to be their responsibility to compensate the town and rebate them for any costs or hours that it takes to fix that.
Okay.
That was kind of where I started with the policy to put before you to see what the board felt about that. And I think the one thing that we have in this instance that we didn't have before is that we're going to be at everyone's home, replacing the grinder pumps, having conversations with them, working at it. So it gives us an opportunity to educate them about what they can and cannot put down there, so that there's really more knowledge out there too of what they're doing. So if there is a mistake or they do something to the pump, it's been clear to them what our expectations are.
These are all in-home grinder pumps?
They're outside, they're out of.
They
the
are
yard.
out,
Yeah.
okay.
So the
Because there's
panels on the
in-home,
outside.
out, and flood.
These are all
So these are all
outside.
outside
Yes.
grinder pumps. okay.
They're in tanks and the
Yeah.
electrical
They're at the
conduit and the
street.
panel.
Yep.
outside. Right about,
Under
yeah.
the panel.
Yep.
With the panels up against the house, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine
the
is down by the
electrical
road at our house, so, I mean, maybe they're in different places then.
I mean, it's,
So that was where we were kind of going with
Okay.
this.
And any comments from the board? And
I think it's a good draft so far. I mean, does this go to policy subcommittee as well, I would think? Or is this something that
I
they're
would
gonna
say
do
that,
internally at DPW and we just approve?
I was going to suggest that we accept this as like a first draft and refer it to the policy subcommittee for review to come back for any suggestions, so we can sort of delve deep in it and take a close reading, and so. That's kind of what our policy is, like, we have a first draft, and we accept it as a first
Right.
reading, and then.
So do you want me to make a motion?
any other comments before we take a motion, Melissa?
Can I just add one thing? I'm sorry.
Sure,
I just
yeah.
had my notes. One of the other things that's good about this project is myself and the 2 sewer employees are going to take a class to actually be certified for E1 pumps. And if we do that, it increases the warranty to 5 years.
Oh, great.
So that will also, if we do take responsibility for them, there's not that will help the town for the next 5 years after each of them is installed.
Well, it's an important capital investment for the town, and I think to protect that capital investment is important. We've allocated this money, and I think the responsibility and the control should stay within the town. And like you said, you get called out anyway. And it's an opportunity for education. I'm wholeheartedly believe that, when you educate people and give them reasons, they pretty much adhere to it, knowing the cost or what the end result is and the impact if, they don't adhere to those regulations. So I do like the initial draft. I like the no strike, because like I said, this is capital investment, and it's an important one.
Well, and I think people should be accountable. I mean, it's pretty common sense. You don't flush wipes in the sewer system. So if people are doing it knowing they're not supposed to, as long as we're giving them the information necessary, and if it's deliberate, that no strike is important. Yeah, I agree.
Peter?
I understand. I mean, I do support the the fact that it says no exception strikes are one-time chances regarding negligence use. My thing is you got some elderly people on the system that some of them have dementia, and all of a sudden, they make a mistake, and it's the only time when they've been in the system for 30-plus years, and all of a sudden, this is the one-time thing happens, and all of a sudden, yeah, they're responsible. At the same time, it wasn't negligent, it was an accident. And so I feel that maybe, and TJ's gonna know who the habitual offenders are going around, because we've had houses on Taylor's Point, we had 3 pumps replaced within 8 or 9 months, and so you know who the habitual ones are. But I just think that it's, when we send this to the policy sub for further action, I just think that the one-time chance, I would like that to be considered. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but because people do make mistakes.
Well, it could be under review, yeah.
I mean, subject to one-time chance, subject to the approval of the Board of Sewer Commissioners, let them make the one to
Or
make it.
case by case.
Yeah.
Or
Case
appeal, we could
by-
do it by an appeal.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
if someone felt that they had a cause for appeal, that,
Right.
that they could make an appeal to us or to someone. I mean,
I agree.
I think that's reasonable. The policies that I read a lot of times were, and I really like the sewer department's gonna come, and they're the ones you have a problem, you call the sewer department, they're gonna come and look at it. And if they pull your pump and find out that there's 20
Sponges.
wipes
and-
in there or something, you're paying. Not only are you paying for the time and material, you're paying for time and materials.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing it for free if it's not a
Right.
material,
Right.
a material breakdown.
Again,
So,
protecting the investment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100% with that.
Because we're
Yeah, but
we're putting a lot of money into these pumps, and people
Yeah.
have to respect that
Right.
and not take advantage of
Right.
it.
If I may, Chair.
Yes.
And you make a valid point, MJ, too, because, I know, and I won't say where, but my husband worked at a facility in town that was a senior place, and they constantly had the same people that were flushing their Depends and things down the toilet, knowing they weren't supposed to. They just didn't care.
Yeah.
So it's true, there are habitual, it was the same houses, they knew, and they would, the organization or the company that owned the facility would send a letter to the person and warn them over and over, but they replaced, he said he was there 5 years, he's seen dozens of grinder pumps being replaced because they were the same people
Big compliance.
pushing the diapers down the toilet.
I think we can navigate that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
that
just have
sounds
to
like a
do, like
perfect
MJ
way
said, an
to be able
appeal
to-
or a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we'll work through that. Any other? This is a great first draft,
Yeah,
though,
thank
because
you
I
very
looked at
much.
other towns and,
Yeah. I think it
yeah, no, I
captures
think,
things,
I think this
yeah.
is a great first draft.
Very
Before you
thoughtful.
work.
And it doesn't have to be too involved.
Some of them are very involved.
I know. Just straightforward, I think will work.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to vote.
Motion to accept the first draft and to send it to the policy sub to look at based on the comments by the.
Second.
Okay. So a motion by MJ, second by Peter, to send first draft, approve first draft to policy sub.
With the additional comments that were made.
Yeah, to accept the first draft and to send it to the policy sub
Yeah,
for
Further action.
For-
further review and action.
for
yeah.
review based on comments.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, seeing none. 500, passes. Director's report.
So I'm just going to touch on one thing. We'll touch on the treatment plant. So we did get the chemicals there for the quaternary pneumonia to eliminate that. There's been a bunch of other small mechanical issues that keep popping up at the plant. So I had a meeting with a few of the higher-up members of Weston and Sampson on Friday. We're going to address all of the issues before we put the plant online. So when the plant goes back online, we have the quaternary pneumonia system in, and all of the other issues are taken care of. Right now, it's not we're only sending 150,000 gallons to Wareham, and we pay a lump sum. So there's no, we're not out of compliance with anything, we're not doing anything wrong. It's just, there's been so many small errors there. I would like to have the plant back up to fully operational and then reassess what our agreements are with Weston and Sampson and what we need to do for future agreements for maintenance and repairs and just issues, so that, right now, the agreement is very nonchalant on certain O&M parts of the thing, so, parts of the contract. But it just, there's a lot of overtime costs with them and overtime costs with the town if we put it back up and then we find this wrong with it and that wrong with it and this wrong with it.
Yeah.
So before it go, we're all, myself, Operations West and Sampson Engineering are all going to make sure we're all good with the way it's going back online and then put it back online in one shot. I'm thinking about a month, maybe 5 weeks. I should have a much more firm update by the time we meet next month. Either the plant's running or it'll be running sooner than later. When it comes to the cost for these, we're not going to receive any bills till we've had our meeting and the plant's back up and running, and then I'll sit down with Wes and we're going to go over line item by line item of what it costs to get it back here.
Okay.
Because that's another thing that I have concerns with some of the costs that we're absorbing for things that might be an O&M issue and not an issue that we should be responsible for.
It's future follow-up. I think I asked it a couple of months ago, or maybe last month. How much longer do we have on Weston and Sampson's contract
May 26th.
of next year?
Yeah, so we have to start thinking about how we-
Negotiating or decide to go in a different direction, yeah.
Or out to bid. We didn't go out to bid for it this time because they were, it was kind of continuing the people, but
It was
that,
extended. so.
It's been a good relationship.
Yeah.
They,
I mean, yeah.
they go through people, they go through operators, which, and the small plant's tough to run, and the quaternary pneumonia, and but I think that we need to have it running the right way for long periods of time and not having constant issues.
But that's
And I think
why-
this is a way to get this back to where it needs to be prior to us figuring out what we need to write into a future agreement for O&M.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, the clock's starting now, so we have less than a year, so that's why I brought the discussion up, because before you know it, I don't want it to be too late and all of a sudden we're scrambling. It's too important, so, start phasing it over time to
Was there a notification in the contract that says,
6 months or whatever it
is
is.
it, do
Yeah,
you know?
well, it was signed till, that was the fifth year renewal, so we have to put something out to bid no matter what.
Okay.
The contract was only open to extend it twice.
Okay. So it's going out to bid either
Yeah.
way. All right.
All right, good.
Can I ask a
Yes.
question? So you said it's the plant's offline now, so you notify Wareham now when you're gonna take
They
it offline?
notify them, Wes
Yeah,
and Sampson
Wes
notifies them, yeah.
notifies them that plant's going offline and it's gonna be, so,
Yeah.
but what we're sending is below what our,
200,000 a day.
below our allocation,
Yes,
so
well
we're,
below.
yeah.
We still, yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
is
mean,
going to
so
be a
how
time when
much-
that's not true, but.
How much
you
is
know.
going
That's-
out of that plan? How much is going per day
We're sending a total of 150 there.
per day?
Yeah, that's a total of Hideaway and downtown.
That's, you're right,
Usually we treat about 60 to 70 at the treatment plant.
yeah.
I don't think they even notice. Flow there. But,
Well, we're summer, so we should be in some peak. For the Hampton Inn thing, you said that the gallons per day average was 42,000, but that the peak was like 2.3 times that. So we're a little bit higher now, but it's still summer, so we're still operating about the same, so.
I was nervous, but after we were really watching the numbers in July, and I wasn't nervous, but I was like, okay, let's do this. We have the opportunity to do this right. Let's do this
No,
right.
I think that was a good call.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
that
great
was great.
call.
Thank you.
Look at that, look. Anything else in the director's report?
Hideaway should be completed the last week of August or the first week of September, the 2 grinder pumps. They were having trouble getting the panels, which I'm not surprised. That happens all the time with these projects. And we've been in contact with them. It's still been, they actually want us to get in there. They didn't originally want us to work in August. But they had some issues with one of their pumps, so they're fine with us getting in there early. And
The Hideaway people?
yes,
Yeah.
right away.
How is Taylor's Point and Way Ho working? Could we put those two new ones in a while ago now?
We had some issues at startup, but we've worked through them all. We've had to make some electrical changes, but those are running optimal right now.
Good. Good. Those the same type of pumps that are going at,
Similar, a little desizing a little, but it's pretty much the
Little-
same system that's going in Hideaway.
okay,
Those are similar to Hideaway, not the residential pumps.
okay. Any other questions for the director?
Thank you.
You good?
Motion to approve the minutes of June 24th, 2025 as submitted.
Second?
Motion by Peter, second by, was that Melissa?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 500. Future agenda items.
RFP for the contract for Weston and Sampson or for
Just contract in general.
operating
O&M?
Yeah, O&M for the treatment facility. But
You're doing sewer rates next month?
There was an original list I saw we weren't going to do an August meeting, but it seems like we've always historically done an August meeting when I went back and looked. So is that, we should do the rates in August, I think,
You
anyway.
you need to do the rates before
Yeah.
September, so they can bill them in September, yeah. Sometime we can do them in July, but that's all right.
And if we have any policy updates, we'll
Yeah.
bring those.
Do we have a meeting scheduled for August already? What time, what is our,
No, I think it was a skip on the list when I had this, and that's what made me think.
It was
But then we had done
because- I
the,
think it's because of my schedule.
26?
but if we have to do the rates, I mean, I think it would probably, if I could check with Marlene, but I think it would probably be okay if we did them quick, if that was the one thing we had, if we had to do them before.
Can we do
select
it
board.
part of a selectmen's meeting, you know,
what do we have for, what are our select board dates? 5th and,
the 19th, is it?
Hold on.
5th and the 26th.
Yeah, the 26th, because Southside.
We have the 5th, because we have an executive session before it.
Right.
And the 26th is the date.
And we
Isn't
did
that
that
the market
because
basket?
because I know Anne Marie was away or something, I remember, right? Isn't that why we switched it? Your wedding or something, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Open with-
I had my whole.
August 19th would be the next Board of Sewer Commissioners. And then the 26th is the
Select board,
Select Board.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was also, I think, too, Marlene's vacation schedule kind of dictated as well, because she's got some vacation time in there. So our next BOSC meeting will be August 19th. So policy updates, RFP, sewer rates.
Do we have a September meeting set yet for sewer?
List.
The 23rd,
Okay.
which I will be out of commission, so you'll be up.
I'll
Dean.
be up.
Be up for that.
I get the gavel.
I will be in wedding mode.
That's nice.
Yeah. Any additional items? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Peter,
Second.
Jean, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions.